There is going to be the alien deception and a likely global financial crisis. Then will come the start of the Third World War. After the war, there will be a terrible global famine, and during this time the Lord's Church will regroup and become a light to the nations. It will gain many new converts to it, and some nations that are majority Protestant will convert to Catholicism. Then a council of nations will be called, and many people will gather to discuss the future of the world and how to recover. At this time, the Antichrist will make his appearance. He will say that he is a man of peace and that he wants to help build bridges between East and West and restore Jerusalem. The entire world will be besotted with him, and some people will believe he is some kind of Messiah. He will befriend the Jewish people and will allow the building of the new temple while maintaining a state of peace between the Jews and the Arabs. Things will be peaceful for a while and religious worship will be permitted. There will be a misplaced sense of security until the Antichrist has built up his army and his influence in the world. He will without warning take over Jerusalem by force. There will be riots, and many people will be killed, and he himself will enthrone himself in the newly built temple, using it as his own private palace. He will take control of all nations and peoples. He will destroy the flags and identities of all the nations, including his own nation of origin. He will brand everyone with a mark, which is the mark of a slave and a sign of surrender to him. He will build an idol of himself and demand that people worship it. The Lord's Church will speak out against him, and he will be furious, and he will kill Christians and others who refuse to receive his mark. He will order that Christianity is forbidden and that all places of worship be destroyed. Many Christians will be forced to flee into the wilderness or go underground. He will persecute the Lord's Church mercilessly, and his favorite form of torture and execution will be to crucify those who are caught. He will tolerate Muslims for longer than he does the Jews and the Christians, but after a time, his relationship with them will also begin to turn sour. At that time, people of different faiths will band together and help one another to survive. The Antichrist will receive word of incredible miracles and signs being performed by the disciples of Jesus in distant places, and he will feel uneasy and will send spies to those regions to gather more information. One day, Jesus Christ himself will appear to the Antichrist in a vision, and the eyes of the Antichrist will bulge, and his mouth will be agape in fear and terror, and he will drop dead on the spot. The followers of the Antichrist, those in his army, will believe his death was caused by natural causes, and they will talk amongst themselves about who will be his successor, but this successor will not come to pass. One day the sign of the cross will appear in the sky, and the audible voice of the Lord will be heard by all on earth. People will be amazed, and the Lord's Church will jump for joy. They will sing, dance, and cry tears of joy. Those who have received the mark of the Antichrist and have done his bidding will get down on their knees and tear their clothing. They will pick up sharp objects and stones and attempt to cut the mark of the beast out of their flesh while pleading to the heavens for forgiveness, but the Lord will not hear them. Those remaining Jews and Muslims will bow down and say, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." Then everything will disappear in an instant. The living and dead will rise, and the Lord Jesus will appear before them on his glorious throne of judgment, and he will separate the sheep from the goats.